Thank you very much, Laska Herlick, and thank you, Minister, for coming to the House today with this bill. I also want to thank Deputy Francis Fitzgerald and David Stanton, but probably particularly Deputy Francis Fitzgerald, in our journey in taking this really important bill through this House and through the other House. But David Stanton as well for his interest and his willingness to work with all of us to get this bill to be the best possible bill that it can be. And I want to acknowledge the work of all of my colleagues here in the Seanad and indeed in the Dáil. I also want to acknowledge the great work of Safe Ireland and the Rape Crisis Centres and Women's Aid and all of the other frontline services who have worked so hard to bring this bill together. And above all, I want to thank the women who have shaped this bill as well, because mostly this bill has been shaped by women who have experienced domestic violence or sexual violence themselves. So I do want to thank them. I also want to remember all of the women who have died violently in our country over the past number of years, and I want to remember their families today. I have waited, like many others, for a very long time for this bill to be processed through these houses, because, like others, I recognise that domestic violence is a crime. It's a crime, one of the most heinous crimes that can be committed, and it always has been a crime. But the difference that this bill will make in terms of now coercive controlling an abusive behaviour perpetrated against an intimate partner will be a crime as well. And that gives me some kind of assurance that women and children are going to be safer as a result of this bill. Not only women and children, but also men, because I want to acknowledge the increasing number of men who are coming to me who are experiencing violence and abusive behaviour. So that will protect all of those situations. There are just two things that the success of this bill is dependent on, and one of them is that it is enacted as quickly as possible, but that the details within the bill permeates right through the system. So right through the Garda system, the judges, training for judges on it, that everybody is absolutely aware of what this bill means and how it can protect people from the crime of domestic violence going forward. I think that must be done immediately. Of course, to do that, it has to be underpinned by resources. And I do want to say again, Minister, there needs to be a re-examination of all the cuts to the frontline services that were done during the years of austerity in particular. That is not to say that there isn't austerity now, but there were severe cuts done to frontline services, community development projects, family resource centres and all of that. That needs to be really looked at. So this bill needs to be underpinned with real finances to be able to do the job in terms of the training and in terms of the supports for women. As always, I want to encourage more women and men, as I said, to come forward. There is no need to lead a life of abuse and violence, the life that many have caused many people to for their lives to be cut short. This bill will save lives, I have no doubt about that. I do want to say that this is just a step. This domestic violence bill is just a step in the right direction. There are many other things that we need to do. And we also, Minister, and I would ask you maybe to have a look at that, we need an all-island approach to domestic violence. We see the law, even though it was passed recently in the north in terms of Clare's law. I think it's a fantastic law where you can find out if your partner has had a history of abuse. Not only you can find out, but if you're concerned about your sister, your friend or somebody else that's close to you, you can find out that information. And again, that makes people safer. So I want to thank you, Minister. Thank you, Laska Herlick.